If you're a Star Wars game fan, you've probably heard of Empire at War somewhere. EAW is an RTS game from 2006 with a very, very much active modding community. One mod is Thrawn's Revenge, which is usually regarded as one of, if not the best mods created for the game. Personally, I'd call it the best, next to its sister mod for the Republic. Now this is a big ass mod with a bunch of new factions, ships, units, troops, vehicles, planets, etc. The mod brings a bunch of new content set in the post-Endor Legends continuity. The mod starts just after the Battle of Endor and is projected to go all the way up until the Legacy era of Star Wars Legends. As part of the mod, as each era progresses, you gain new leaders and heroes for each faction. Definitely helps add some variety to it all. On a side note, this is my first video, so yeah, hi, welcome to my future dumpster fire of a channel. Enjoy the stay. Like and subscribe while you're at it. This is not negotiable. After spending about 20 minutes figuring out what map I actually wanted to play, you finally actually load in to what it is we're doing. I simply went with the small full galaxy map, which is the smallest of all the progressive ones, because it's been about 2 months, if not longer, since I last picked up the game properly to really hammer out a campaign. So I figured I'd go small just to start myself off again. And yes, I am going to have to both narrate and fast track a lot of the early parts of this video because you can't actually hear me over what's happening in the game. Simply put, all I really went and did was build a handful of ships, factories, and other facilities in some different worlds, have a look at how absolutely spread out the New Republic is, and very quickly realize there was no clear territory that I could just hunker down in and kind of turtle from, which is my typical strategy. So instead I would have to make the territory to turtle from in order to enact my usual strategy. And I figured after reading the guide from Mon Mothma at the start that attacking the Eridu Authority early would very quickly just knock out an enemy player, or I guess AI, early on, and just be one less thing I have to deal with over the course of the game. So I decided I'd try to knock out the Eridu Authority and just take the entire south through to the east rim of the galaxy, and just make my sort of outer rim territories that I'd hold and expand from, focusing around defending key shipyards and gateways in and out of the regions. I eventually decided to try and unify the territory I had by taking out this one planet that was sitting right between where my fleets were able to get to each other, which is going to be a real inconvenience if I captured the south section of the galaxy. Bad idea. You see, there is a reason that you scout or spy on planets before you invade them, and this is one of them. You see, the enemy had a pretty big fleet composed of multiple destroyers, combat frigates, escort cruisers. Real issue is that they had an interdictor. You see, an interdictor, whilst having pretty much no guns that are effective on it, they can stop you from jumping to light speed, meaning that you can't retreat. Meaning all the ships I just sent are probably dead. To counteract this problem, we employed the very simple strategy of dropping every single ship we have in our fleet on top of that one unit, blowing it up, and then running away like a little bitch. Somehow, this actually worked. Granted, we did only blow up the gravity well generator, but it still counts. It still counts. And so with that, we enact step 3 of the plan and run like a little bitch. So with that, we hastily retreat from the planet because obviously we have no chance of winning, at least not right now, and then begin pondering what on earth I'm actually going to do next. After learning from our mistakes and employing the use of spies this time, I identify a target that I'm like 95.73% sure I can actually hit and win against, rather than going in and losing every single ship in my fleet. So with that, we head to Eridu 6. I hope I said that right. The only planet that is a viable target right about now with the fleet I have. So the first ship deploys, we analyze the enemy fleet, get to work deploying ours, and then blow everything up. Okay, well maybe we didn't blow everything up because the enemy fleet ran away like a little bitch, but we did get some stuff. So it still counts. Now if you didn't know in Empire at War, you can simply just blow off the engines of any warship that has them as a hard point to prevent it from retreating. So instead we just target as many warships as we can and take out as many engines as possible to try and inflict as much damage so they can't run away, especially with the officers because they don't respawn in this mod, which is pretty good. unless they're your officers. So the enemies run away, the space station just kills itself for whatever reason, and all in all, it was an average win. No complaints. After realizing that I forgot to actually build an army, I go and quickly sort that out, and then proceed to invade the ground. I cannot see this possibly going wrong. At all. What do you mean? After a thorough ass-kicking from the Eridu Authority, we retreat, run back to orbit, build a whole ass new army, and then just try again because we learned absolutely nothing from the first time. After a ground battle that mostly consisted of me just throwing waves of troops at the enemies with artillery to flatten anything that got a little too close, we actually won. Somehow. Yeah, I don't get it either. Don't question it. Piggybacking off that success, we construct a fleet of new warships to back up what we've already got, and move to take Eridu, the capital of the Eridu Authority, if the name didn't already give it away. By once again employing the tactic of drop our entire fleet on top of the enemies, we easily managed to just wipe out all the warships in orbit, before then moving on to the giant space station blocking us from finishing our assault. After our rather successful battle, we quickly blockade the next planet over before pulling in our ground forces to take Eridu as well. Another successful battle later, that I don't really have any good footage of, we have taken Eridu and then quickly take the next planet over, that being Sluis Van. I essentially just repeated this process, taking all the Eridu Authority's worlds, until it was finally time for a big showdown at the Verzigo asteroids, where the Eridu Authority had a Praetor battlecruiser waiting for me. Though at this point I was very much readily equipped to take one on. For some reason the enemy AI acted, for lack of a better term, fucking stupid, and decided to turn the giant-ass warship around away from me. No, not in the direction of where it has all its guns pointing, and it made it much easier for me to just drop the entire fleet behind it and begin to hammer it so it couldn't retreat. I mean, by the time it turned around, its shields were already crippled and we were easily able to just blow it to bits. Like, come on. What were you doing? Quickly following up with another invasion at a planet that I'm not even going to try to say the name of because that shit is a mouthful and a half. I pretty much stamped out the entirety of the Eridu Authority. They've got no planets left, and with that, I was pretty much happy to call it a day. So I spent the rest of my time just fortifying worlds bordering with other factions that I knew would probably be a threat later on, and ended it there. Welcome to the begging section. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. I found this relatively fun to make, a little frustrating at points. Especially when I found out that the entire 2-hour recording I did, that I managed to somehow compress into about 8 minutes, just doesn't have my voice in it. That was really frustrating to realize afterwards, because I was like, well shit, I spoke for 2 hours for bugger all. Not fun. I suppose if you liked it, like any other YouTuber would say, like, subscribe. This is still not optional, just reminding you. And I suppose if I do another one of these, I'll see you then. I don't know if I'll continue this campaign. At the time of editing this, it's been like a month since I last played. So, I don't know if I'll even bother keep doing it, or if I'll instead do another one for another mod. I've been wanting to play Remake 4.0 since it came out, since I haven't really done that much, like, playthroughs of that yet. Played when it came out, didn't really like it, put it down. Kind of want to try it again now, a few months later. Since I haven't touched it, my mind would be a bit more refreshed, I suppose, after playing a lot of Thrawn's Revenge. Either that, or a Full of the Republic playthrough, since that's another mod that I really enjoy. Yeah, it's really all I've got to say. See ya.